Hey y'all, I'm Erica Sorbello and I'm the owner as well as the stylist at Gallery Salon located at 4 Elton Street in the neighborhood of the Arts in Rochester, New York. We specialize in everything from lived-in hair color to vivid creations, haircuts, wedding hair and makeup, structured manicures, gel extensions, and the best nail art in the city. We work closely with Rochester artists and makers to carry an array of handmade goodies for you to shop from. Gallery Salon is proud to offer gender-neutral pricing and we are a certified LGBTQ+ safe zone. Our space and staff are welcoming and down to earth. We know you'll be comfortable to come as you are and celebrate your individuality at Gallery Salon. You can find us at galleryhair.com and Facebook or Instagram. Give us a call at 585-271-8340, or better yet, swing by and meet us and see what we're about. Gallery Salon, located at 4 Elton Street in the neighborhood of the Arts in Rochester, New York.
Jazzcast Pros.
Hey ladies, do you own your own business or are you considering starting your own?
Are you craving connection and are ready to feel seen? It's time to get real about what it takes to make it as a woman business owner.
My name is Kelly Bush.
And I'm Kelly Metris.
And we're the hosts of Getting Real with Bossy, the podcast that unites and educates women business owners through real, raw, and honest conversations.
Today's episode is with Asa Shuts, and they're going to share their story and how to keep going when your life is falling apart.
Yeah, she's got a really inspiring story, and I hope you like it.
All right, welcome to the Bossy Podcast. This is our first experience with multiple people in different spaces.
Woohoo!
This is Kelly Metris, and Kelly Bush is on a speakerphone.
Yeah, I am in beautiful Hudson, New York. I can actually see the Hudson River from my hotel room right now, so it's very cool.
And in the room with us, we also have Erica Sorbello and Jordan Betts. Hey. Hi, folks.
Hi, ladies.
Hello, bossies. We hope you've been having success at whatever you've got on your to-do list this week.
How are you doing with your to-do list?
I am not doing well.
Me neither.
Yeah, no, this is not a good week. We're gonna get shit done next week.
Yes, pushing it all off to next week. I am failing at my to-do list. Every time I cross something off, I think 3 things come on, and then I remember 4 things that I didn't put on. So I'm always 7 steps behind, apparently. But I feel like next week's going to be a little bit better. We've got a bunch of events coming up, and as soon as they're done, I can focus on being focused again, if that makes sense.
Asa talks about finding positivity in moments of distress.
Yes.
And I think maybe we can do more of that. And sometimes it's okay if we haven't gotten our shit done because we have to address our lives.
Right. And I think that's what people don't understand when you're a business owner. Your life happens right alongside. They exist at the same moment, always.
All right. So Asa, welcome to the Bossy Podcast.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. My name's Asa Shuts. I own Schutts Productions and a brand called Shutter and Splice. And we do photo and video for most all of your imaging needs, from weddings and newborns to corporate events and advertising. And you can find us online at either shutsproductions.com or shutterandsplice.com.
Can we specify that there is no C in Shuts?
Oh, yes, there is no C in Schutts. It's Shutts. I don't grow apples, but I mean,
it's only
for those of you
relevant
from Rochester.
right, for those of you that know Schutts Apple Farms. Listen, one of the bridesmaids in my wedding thought that I was getting married to the son of Schutts Apple Farms.
Really?
I'm like,
And she thought she was getting donuts for life.
yeah, right? I mean, I want donuts for life, but wrong spelling. I can't even fake it.
All right, Shuts. Shutts. Sweet.
Productions.com for all the goods. Thanks for having me.
So is this something you always wanted to do, photography, or?
So growing up, my grandparents had this really awesome basement. My grandfather and my grandmother were both pilots. And my grandfather built these...
Wait, can you say that again?
Sure.
Pilots?
Yeah. My grandparents
That's
were both
amazing.
pilots. Oh my gosh, my grandma just passed away last year at the age of 99, like 2 weeks from her 100th birthday. But she raced airplanes across the country. like for years and years and years, and she'd win these races, and it was pretty cool. So
you come from a long line of bossy women as well.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
I was going to say, I can see the genetics.
Yeah, I think it is in our genes, right? It's got to be.
Absolutely.
But my grandfather had a dark room in his basement, and he had all of these like cabinets and drawers full of all these black and white images from whatever. A lot of them of him in the plains, a lot of like his family, a lot of my mom, a lot of my uncle and my aunt. And I would just spend hours in this basement flipping through old black and white photos. And that was like, I mean, I don't even know how young, probably 8, 9. And I just spent hours down there looking at all of these little 4x4 photos. And I loved it. When I went to college, I went to RIT for photo in 1995. And at that time it was still film, and we hadn't gone digital yet. I had an awful experience there and left college and didn't go back for photography. Finished out at Brockport doing sculpture, but never stopped doing photography. And then fast forward, 20 years, I met my husband, and he was a live news op for news stations in Rochester. And we kind of started doing video projects together. And then I started our business when I quit my full-time job to quote unquote stay home with the baby. And it took off from there. And that was about 10 years ago. And I added photo back in because that's what I really loved, was photo. And I've been doing it full-time ever since.
What's your favorite thing that you photographed?
All of these really interesting twists and changes came during COVID. And one of my favorites, and probably, I've shot destination weddings throughout the country. We've done Colorado, we've done Mexico, we've done Canada, we've done Seattle, but COVID brought the best one. And I had this couple who I absolutely love, and they live in Chicago. His parents live in Batavia. They were going to get married in Buffalo with like 400 guests at a hotel. It was going to be a massive, huge wedding. COVID hits. They get told by New York State that they can't have more than 50 people at their wedding. And here's all the regulations that have to go with that. And they're like, fuck it. If we are going to be limited like that, and we can't have this 400-person wedding that we wanted, then why would we even go to Buffalo and do it? So what are we going to do? And they're like, well, we can do it in Chicago where we live. We can do it at Matt's house in Batavia, right? His parents' house in Batavia. Or we could just do it where we're going to honeymoon, which is on this horse ranch in Wyoming. Hey, Asa, would you mind if we flew you to Wyoming, you and Ben, to shoot on this gorgeous horse ranch next to the Teton Mountains?
What?
And so, of course I said no.
Right, yeah.
No, why would I do
Who
that?
the hell wants to look at a bunch of ugly mountains?
Can I learn how to be a second really quick? And
Right?
get back in time?
Exactly. So all 3 of my children were out of school. My husband was like remote working. He works full time, but he'll second shoot for me. And we said, well, fuck it. Let's just fly everybody to Wyoming. And so we took a week and we took the kids, and they're on remote school anyway, so they can just do that from a hotel room in Jackson Hole. And we flew to Wyoming and we turned it into a family vacation, and we did the wedding and the first weekend, and then we spent a week with the kids in Yellowstone, and it was epic. And man, I love the photographs that I took from that wedding.
So
They're
cool.
just so beautiful. Just so beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah. COVID twists, man.
Mm-hmm.
You learn to roll with them, and they can bring some pretty awesome shit.
Oh, that wonderful C word.
Mm-hmm.
As a woman, I didn't think that there would be a better C word.
Right?
That's amazing. What kind of video were you guys doing at the beginning?
Mostly we were doing weddings for friends. We were just doing it to do it for people. And then I was like, you know what? I bet we could make some money doing this. And started really small. And then people would start asking for different video work. And that grew into doing events for nonprofits. And commercial work for nonprofits. And that's really what I love the most, is doing video work for nonprofit organizations in the Rochester area. That's really where my heart is. The weddings are fun, but my heart screams nonprofit.
Do you have a favorite video experience?
This is actually another COVID story, which is funny because I've been shooting for a lot longer than COVID. But the fact that we weren't doing in-person live events anymore, and all of a sudden these Rochester-based companies needed live, quote-unquote, event videos to do their yearly events, right? But they couldn't be in person, so they were reaching out to us to produce these longer form videos that they could play for remote, virtual meeting type of stuff. And that's how I started getting involved with a lot of really cool not-for-profits in Rochester. And I think probably my favorite to date is working with Rochester Area Community Foundation to produce their annual awards. It was usually an in-person huge gala, and they couldn't do it in person. And the people I met through that organization just blow my mind. The amount of money and the amount of heart that they're putting into the hands of people that really, really are doing amazing things with it just is inspiring.
So something like that event, which I've been to before, and it's so great. What is the process after the event? Like, how long does it take? What do you need to do before the final product is out?
So for a virtual event like that, it's a lot of planning and production work. There isn't a singular event that you just show up to for a couple of hours and record video of and then edit it and put it out. The work that we did for that involved like scene sketching and storyboard planning and how to like create a hook for the people that were watching, because it was a new frontier for people. So there was a lot of pre-planning that went into producing that video. We created a little storyline about one of the presenters showing up at their usual spot to like do their presentation, but the room ended up being empty. And, how do you creatively shoot that? And, how do you make it funny and make people feel like, oh yeah, COVID, and all the little things that went into that. So more the pre-production for that was more daunting. The end piece was actually pretty simple to put together because we had the whole plan. When events are happening in real time and you're there for a couple of hours, the back end ends up being a lot longer, the video work, because you got to go through all this B-roll and figure out which B-roll tells the story and which you don't need, and putting together, even a 2 to 3 minute end product takes hours and hours and hours on the back end of just looking through, 2 hours of video work and deciding, somebody talked for 45 minutes. Well, where are the 10 seconds that made the most sense of what they said to use in the video? And did they stutter when they did it? Because if they stuttered when they did it, you got to find something else.
Right.
So,
yeah, I asked that because I think especially with professions like yours, people don't understand, like, why are you charging this rate? I can take pictures on my phone. I can make a video. People just don't understand. And I think, Kelly and I get that a little bit in our professions. Like, they're just making food. I'm like, but do you know, like, all the things that I have to pay for that go into this? And the staff, like, people just, I think, don't understand. I loop that into the nices and stuff.
That's funny that you mention it, because just earlier today, I was looking at, one of the social media platforms, and somebody had put up, like, the crap bullshit of McDonald's and how much money the corporations make versus how much money they're paying their workers. And they were like, well, this is how much hamburger meat costs, and this is how much they pay their workers. So they've got this much left over that they're paying themselves. And it's like, well, you didn't take into account the management or the maintenance on the building. You didn't take into account all of the people that are, the insurance, all the stuff that they're working to keep the executives going and
specifically in McDonald's, it's franchise fees.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about the McDonald's setup, and it is very expensive.
Yeah.
To start a McDonald's.
Absolutely. So I think the average person gets a little bit of it. They're thinking, how do you pay the workers? How do you pay the thing? But they don't think about the fact that one of my video camera bodies is $6,500 before I put a lens on it. And then I've got 3 of those bodies at the event. So if I'm walking into your event with $50,000 worth of gear, that's just the equipment I'm using. Like,
Right.
that's before I've paid myself. So realizing that the costs, you know, of business are equal to what you have to charge if you want to make more than $7 an hour.
And having the eye, not